Hi YouTube, welcome to my video on Moon in the 7th house. And so let's begin. I shuffle my tarot when I do these communicating videos where I talk about the placements, and especially when it comes to the moon signs, because it helps me to communicate better, because I have a Mercury in Gemini and sometimes I stutter a lot and I forget what I'm going to say a lot, because I have a lot going up on here. So anyways, enough about me, so let's get started. Actually, this video is about me a little bit because I have this placement. Okay, so the moon is who you're at the core. It's how you feel. It's the side that nobody really sees about you. It's your emotional connections. It's at times how you view your mother. And whatever house the moon is in is where those emotions, and it's who you are at the core, that is where it is expressed, And the 7th house is all about relationships. It's all about one-on-one partnerships, and it's the house traditionally ruled by Libra, which is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about love, romance, charm, grace, elegance, and all that. So I have this placement, and I'm going to give you the realest, flat out thing that you're probably going to agree with me on. Now, if you look this up everywhere on YouTube, YouTube, and online in general, the first thing that they're going to say is, you need love, you need marriage, you need people, all of that. And yeah, and it's like letting go is so hard for you. And do not get me wrong, that is so true. But just think about this, because I was thinking about it, and I was just like, that doesn't sound a little bit right, And as I was thinking about it to myself, I was like, is it the people that I'm emotionally attached to? Or is it the way that they make me feel? Or is it like the way or the elements in my chart that I express the most when I'm with them? Or is it their personality? Because I have had friends, and I've been in relationships where I don't even like their personality, to be honest. But let's say they're fire, they're predominantly fire. And I have my Venus in Aries and my Mars in Sagittarius. And I love to express this. And I love to express my Mercury in Gemini, because it makes me feel confident and it makes me feel awesome, But I might find I don't like necessarily a lot of other fire people a lot, because it can get a little bit too much for me. I do love fire signs, but I love when I express that about myself. So when I find people that I can express that part of myself and have no filter and say what I want to say and be confident and be impulsive and be reckless, I love spending time with that person, even if I don't like all their qualities, And there's some people that I'm friends with that help me to express my moon in Pisces, that help me express that sensitive, intuitive part of myself. And then there's some people that I express my Virgo, my ascendant in Virgo, and my sun in Taurus a lot, and they could be complete opposites. When I'm with a fire sign, usually when I'm with an Aries, I will express, and they're being a little bit Aries can be kind of mean and a little bit of a bully sometimes, because they're the first sign of the zodiac. I find that when I'm with an Aries moon, I express my Pisces moon, because I'm like, oh my God, you're hurting people's feelings, all of that, blah, blah, blah. But then when I'm with someone that's a water sign, and we're talking about my feelings or something, I will express it more as a fire sign, because I know that they have a more sensitivity frequency, and that they're going to start to really sympathize with me, and I want them to see me more as a confident person. But I realize that it's not the people that I get emotionally attached to. It's the way I express myself when I'm with that person. It's the way that the energies that they bring out in me, and when they're gone, and when I no longer have a way to express that feeling on that side of myself, because people with their moon in the 7th house, the way you express who you are is through your one-on-one relationships, and it's through the people that you meet, and it's through the emotional connections that you have with other people. But think about it, is it really the person, or is it how they made you feel, and it's how they made, like the way you felt when you could express yourself? Because I guarantee you, every friend that you have and every one-on-one relationship, the person that you are when you're with those like different individuals is completely different than the person that you are when you're with the other person. You know, like each person kind of brings out a different side of yourself, unless you're like a solid all the same element in your chart. You know what I mean? But if you have like a variety of elements in your chart, I like, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, leave your comments if you think that this is incorrect. But like I find it, at least for me, that is how that is why I get emotionally attached. That is why I have a difficult time letting go. It's hard for me because a lot of times I can be more of a static character, whereas if I'm not necessarily the one changing, and then I become more dynamic through the emotional connections that I make with others because of the different energies that they pull out, you know, and you really express yourself through this. And yes, this is the house of marriage. This is also the house, but marriage is very idolized in your mind. You want marriage, you want that happy home, you want that true love and that connection that you have with other people, but you have a tendency to catch feelings for a lot of different people. Like, you know, like you could be in a relationship and have a crush on someone else because they make you feel a certain way, but they also make you feel good, you know, and it's kind of like that. I'm not like, you know, and it's just like when I read Moon in 7th house, are just like, oh, like they don't explain it thoroughly and enough, you know. I related to it, don't get me wrong, but I don't necessarily relate to it all the way because I feel as if they're missing out on some details. So I wanted to clarify that. But along with like getting emotionally attached, I want to give you guys some advice as onto how you could deal with letting go a little bit and releasing yourself, because you can get stuck in toxic relationships at times because you believe in love wholeheartedly and you like to see the best in people. And a lot of times, because this house is traditionally ruled by Libra, a lot of times you have a hard time saying how you truly feel about a situation if you know it is going to hurt the other person's feelings, if you know it's going to, in a sense, disrupt the balance. So you can be subjected to abusive relationships or just ones where you're not necessarily happy because you like love and you like being in relationships and you like romance and you love the style of love. And even if you're not in a relationship that's traditionally loving, you know, you can stick through relationships that really put you through the gutter just because you like you see the best in everyone, and you see like you like to stick through relationships, especially once you get attached to them. Oh my god, it's really hard to let go. And honestly, the best way you can do this, if you encounter a breakup in your life, is to, I want to say, just block them, and you'll realize that you start to really disconnect from them, because that's what I do. But I know that can be really hard for people with their moon in the 7th house. It can be very hard to like just let go of those people, even if they hurt you, because that's mainly what you're used to. And whatever form of love, whatever like situation you were raised with at home, you know, that really depends on the relationship that you get in. If you were in a relationship, like if you were in a household growing up where you were treated poorly, you are most likely going to go for partners that treat you poorly. You know, it's like the Stockholm syndrome. You feel bad for your abusers. But if you were grown up in a home that was very harmonious, you love peace and harmony. That's what you really strive for a lot of the times. But if you were grown up in that home life, then you're most likely to find and be in relationships that are about that. You know, you don't necessarily go for abusive relationships and subject yourself to that if you know how it should be treated. And the moon is also your mother, and it's how you view your mother. So the moon house is all about, the seventh house is all about one-on-one relationships and all that. So you could view your mother as someone who always was trying to be peaceful, harmonious, loving, maybe was all about relationships and really strive to get the approval of the other parent, you know, or maybe your parents had a phenomenal relationship and maybe they didn't, but one way or another you might have seen your mom as someone who was emotionally attached to something. It could be her kids, it can be her partner, it could be another family member, it could be her hobbies. It's just something that she was emotionally attached to. It's most likely going to be one-on-one relationships that she had, where she felt that she was giving a lot and not receiving the same back, you know? Or she just put a lot of time and effort into making others happy and making other people satisfied. It really just depends on the home environment that you were growing up in. Now, yeah, that was it for my moon in 7th house video. If you have any constructive criticism, if you felt as if I left anything out, if you just want to send me some feedback, let me know in the comments below and I'll answer them. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.